Hey guys, it's Beyond Wax, and in this video I'll be breaking down the 20 rookies included in the 2022 Donruss Optic UFC set. 2022 Donruss Optic UFC is shaping out to be one of the more intriguing rookie sets. With this being the second year of Panini's licensing agreement with the UFC, there's a lot of great fighters included in this set, from veterans to prospects. All of them have been labeled with a sought-after, rated rookie design. Now, to better understand the 20 rookies in the set, we'll look at a couple of statistics, mainly focusing on significant strikes, takedowns, and submissions. Before we get started, I want to take some time to explain the coloring of text on these tables. Green text indicates excellent stats, and red text indicates poor stats. The bolded numbers will highlight the best and worst stats in each category. This is only done across the 20 rookies on the list. At number 20, we have Max Payne Griffin in the welterweight division. He made his UFC debut in late 2016 and has a record of 7-7 over his 14 fights. He won his last fight at Fight Night 213 against Tim Means by split decision. Griffin is a hardy veteran that has been a fixture in the division for the last several years, fighting the likes of Carlos Condit, Neil Magny, Colby Covington, and so on. Next, at 19, we have Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez, also in the welterweight division. At age 36, D-Rod has a 7-2 record in the UFC and was shortly ranked number 14 prior to his loss to Neil Magny at UFC Fight Night 214. D-Rod is a high-volume striker, landing 7.5 significant strikes per minute, the best in his rookie class, but he also absorbs 5.1 strikes per minute. Known primarily for his striking volume, this fighting style leaves him vulnerable to wrestler matchups, with his opponents landing almost 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. At 18, we have Alex the Great White Morano. He fights in the welterweight division and holds a UFC record of 11 wins, 5 losses, 1 no contest. Morano is a well-rounded veteran, and despite his black belt in jiu-jitsu, he rarely shoots for takedowns. He averages 0.3 takedowns landed per 15 minutes. Instead, he chooses to engage in stand-up for most of his matchups. He relies on a unique fight stance and timing his punches. Morano is able to land 5 significant strikes per minute, but only at an accuracy of 43%. At 17, we have Paul Craig. He is the number 9 ranked light heavyweight in the UFC. He has 8 wins over his 14 fights in the UFC and is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He is scheduled to fight number 12 ranked Johnny Walker at UFC 283 this month. Craig is a crafty veteran that holds wins against Shogun Rua and upcoming title challenger Jamal Hill. He has some of the most unique ground game in the UFC, with plenty of submissions on his resume. With a finishing rate of 100% amongst his wins and almost 2 submissions per 15 minutes, he is a lower volume striker at 2.5 strikes landed per minute and below average striking defense. Next, at 16, we have 28-year-old Carol Rosa. She is the number 9 ranked women's bantamweight. She is 5-1 in the UFC, with all her fights going to a decision. Carol lands 6.1 significant strikes per minute at an accuracy of 56%. For every punch that she absorbs, she is able to dish out 1.5 significant strikes of her own. Though her 0% finishing rate in the UFC is of concern, of the 5 rookies on the page, she has the greatest upside. Her optic-based rookie autograph is currently selling for as low as $3. At 15, we have Billy Q, a featherweight with a UFC record of 5-2. Coming off his impressive TKO of Alex Hernandez at UFC 282, Billy Q possesses great durability and stamina to withstand pressure from his opponents. He fights at a consistent pace, landing 7.4 significant strikes per minute at an accuracy of 56%, while taking considerable punishment from his opponent, absorbing 5.8 significant strikes per minute and only defending 41% of strikes coming his way. Both striking defensive stats are the worst in his rookie class. Next, at 14, we have fan favorite The Leech, Li Jingliang. He is the 15th ranked welterweight with 11 wins over his 17 fights in the UFC. The Leech does a great job mixing his grappling with his striking. He has trouble controlling the center of the octagon, but this may be reflective of the strength of schedule and the number of last-minute bouts he has had. Lee's optic-based rookie autograph is currently selling around $40, higher than most of his peers on this list with autographs. At 13, we have Chris Daukaus, the number 11 ranked heavyweight with a 4-3 record in the UFC. Coming off 3 straight losses, with the most recent being the knockout loss from Jair Rozenstruik at UFC 282, Daukaus' cards are valued on the lower end. Daukaus has yet to land a takedown in the UFC, but does boast a 100% finishing rate, topping his rookie class. We can find his cards bouncing back when he finds himself in the winning column again. At number 12, we have Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Fighting out of Liverpool, the 28-year-old is the next wave of promising European prospects on the rise. And despite his controversial win against Jared Gordon at UFC 282, Paddy will continue to look to bring entertaining fights to his fans all around the world. Paddy's striking defense sits at 42% and allows 3.4 takedowns per 15 minutes. These are both areas that he will need to continue to improve on. At 11, we have another promising European prospect, this time from Ireland. Ian Garry is a 25-year-old welterweight holding a 3-0 record in the UFC. Garry does have plus striking, landing 5.9 strikes per minute at an accuracy of 57%. However, he is reliant on his counterpunching, which makes him absorb 4.3 strikes per minute as well. Similar to Paddy, he does not have an optic-based rookie autograph, so his parallels will come at a premium. At number 10, we have Sean Strickland, the number 7 middleweight with a 12-5 record in the UFC. Coming off his split decision loss to number 3 contender Jared Cannonier last month at UFC Fight Night 216, Strickland still holds a lot of upside despite his last 2 losses in a row. Strickland has some of the best boxing in his division, let alone this rookie class. He lands 5.6 strikes per minute while defending 64% of strikes coming his way. He also lands 2.4 takedowns for every one that he allows. Strickland's base rookie autographs are selling at around $10 currently. At number 9, we have 15th ranked lightweight Grant Dawson. With 7 wins and 1 draw in his 8 UFC fights, Dawson cracked the top 15 rankings after his submission win versus Mark Madsen at UFC Fight Night 214. Dawson is a great wrestler that is able to land 4 takedowns per 15 minutes, which translates to 13 takedowns for every one that he allows. This is reflected in his whopping 61% control time, top of the rookie class. His base rookie autos are currently selling for roughly $20. At number 8, we have Sean Brady, the 8th ranked welterweight in the UFC. Coming off his TKO loss to top 5 contender Belal Muhammad at UFC 280, Brady will be fighting number 14th ranked Michel Pereira. Brady is an excellent grappler with great takedown defense, capable of landing 14 takedowns for every one allowed. He also has excellent striking defense at 62%. Brady does not have an optic-based auto, and his parallels will be a little bit more expensive. At number 7, we have the Tarantula, Jalen Turner. Ranked number 10 in the lightweight division, Turner is coming off 5 consecutive finishes, with his latest against then 14th ranked Brad Riddell at UFC 276. Standing at 6'3" with a 77-inch reach, Turner uses his size to his advantage, landing almost 6 significant strikes per minute and 2.2 submissions per 15 minutes. Turner is both a solid striker and a dangerous submission artist. He is a well-rounded fighter, likely to be a bad matchup for his peers in the lightweight division. Turner's optic-based autos are on the higher end, around $35. Next, at number 6, we have Adrian Yanez, the 13th ranked bantamweight with a UFC record of 5-0. With 4 performance bonuses in his 5 UFC fights, Yanez is a talented striker with both speed and power. Despite his low striking accuracy of 40%, his high output of almost 7 strikes per minute paired with his strong striking defense of 60% continues to bring entertaining fights in his division. His optic-based rookie autos are around $25. At number 5, we have undefeated Movsar Evloev, the number 10 ranked featherweight in the UFC. Coming off his unanimous decision win against the then 10th-ranked Dan Ige at Fight Night 207, Movsar holds a UFC record of 6-0. He has a well-rounded game with solid striking, but is even better at avoiding damage. He absorbs only 2.8 strikes per minute and defends 63% of strikes that come his way. Though his striking may not result in knockouts featured in highlight reels, his 0% finishing rate fails to emphasize on his ability to control his opponent during his fights. He has effective grappling skills, landing almost 5 takedowns per 15 minutes. At 4, we have Ilia Topuria, another undefeated fighter with a 5-0 UFC record in the featherweight division. Coming off his impressive submission victory against then number 9 ranked Bryce Mitchell at UFC 282, Topuria is heading into 2023 with a lot of momentum. At only 26 years old and the 9th ranked featherweight in the UFC, Topuria is a sound striker with power, knocking out 3 of his last 5 opponents. He also has strong grappling skills, averaging 2.5 takedowns per 15 minutes with a 93% takedown defense. He lands 6 takedowns for every 1 that he allows, while attempting 2.5 submissions per 15 minutes. At number 3, we have Tom Aspinall. Currently ranked as a number 6 heavyweight in the UFC, Aspinall is one of the more undervalued rookies given his success, and you will find a lot of green numbers beside his name. Coming off his loss to Curtis Blades at Fight Night 208 due to a torn MCL and meniscus, he is currently rehabbing this injury, which is a part of the reason why he isn't ranked higher on this list. With a 100% finishing rate, his fights only last an average of 2.5 minutes. Despite these short fights, Aspinall has displayed mobility for his size. He has great hand speed and power. He lands 7.4 significant strikes per minute, but also with incredible precision at 66%. He also has good striking defense and lands almost 3 punches for every 1 that he absorbs. To go with his striking, Aspinall is also a strong wrestler with a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He is not allowed a takedown yet in his UFC career, while averaging 4 takedowns and 2 submissions per 15 minutes. Tom Aspinall is one of the most well-rounded heavyweights, and there is some upside to his cards. His base auto is currently selling at around $25. At number 2, we have Rafael Fiziev, the number 6 ranked lightweight in the UFC. Coming off his knockout victory against RDA at ESPN 39, Fiziev has collected 5 bonuses in 7 fights. Fiziev has a background in Muay Thai and is one of the most dangerous strikers in the featherweight division. He applies pressure in his fights, moving forward with heavy hands and throwing a barrage of kicks in his game. Fiziev is a tit-for-tat striker. He lands 1 strike for every strike that he absorbs. His excellent takedown defense at 96% also negates takedowns from wrestling matchups. Fiziev's optic-based auto is currently selling for around $20 to $30. And at number 1, we have Shavkat Rakhmonov, a 16-0 undefeated welterweight in the UFC. Currently ranked as the number 10 welterweight in the division and scheduled to fight this month at Fight Night 217. Coming off his latest submission victory against Neil Magny at ESPN 38, Shavkat continues his rise to the top of the division with a finishing rate of 100%. The hot prospect uses his Sambo background to continue to dominate his opponents, controlling 54% of the fight time and landing a little over 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. Shavkat has never been taken down in the UFC and does not absorb much damage, at only 1.5 strikes absorbed per minute, the lowest of all rookies in his class. He does not have an optic-based rookie, and his parallels will come at a high cost. That does it for the 20 rookies in the 2022 Donruss Optic UFC set. Let me know in the comments who you think are the top rookies in the set and who you collect. I'll catch you next time.